You're listening to the Black Eagles podcast.
Ahmet Dursun Sergen aldı. Sergen Bülent yan yana. Sergen Bülent. Sergen. Yanında Tümer var. Tümer'e doğru açıklar gitti. Tümer topu aldı. Sergen aldı. Gol Sergen attı. Sergen attı. Şampiyonluk geldi. Sergen attı. Şampiyonluk geldi.
İbrahim'in pası. Roma. Şimdi Ahmet. İkinci gole gidiyor Beşiktaş. Ahmet.
Welcome back, everybody. Episode 173 of Beşiktaş International's The Black Eagles podcast. I am your host, Sinan, live from a balmy, summery New York City. And with me again, the podcast host extraordinaire, Evran, the Akman himself. How you doing, sir?
Doing alright, how are you?
Pretty good, man. Can't complain. And I won't give away any spoilers. We've obviously already done our post-championship episode, which was a thriller, obviously, for everyone involved. But, yeah, we have to talk about our cup final against Antalyaspor. And I will first sort of go into, as I always do, our rivals' last 5 results, just to give you a sense of where they were coming into this one. 5 matches ago, they lost to Galatasaray 1-0, a man down, so a resilient defeat. We've called them the Iron. Originally we called them the Iron. What was it? The Iron Curtain. The Iron Curtain. And then I think it got downgraded to the Iron Gate because they got a little sloppy. And then it was like the Iron Fence because they started, I think they let like 4 goals in against someone. Anyway, but so solid outing against Galatasaray 5 matches ago. Then a 2-2 draw against Fatih Karagümrük. This is the Iron Fence action. A loss to Göztepe 2-3 at home. So then it's like Iron, I don't even know, pole at this point. A loss to Trabzon away 2-1, and then a draw against Konyaspor 0-0. So pretty terrible form coming into our match. Not a single win, just a couple draws. Things had been looking all right for them, mid-season. I think they were as high as like maybe 8th, but obviously things took a dive.
Yeah. I mean, they won the last 10 league games. They won 1 game, so they basically just survived off that run when they were the Iron Curtain for a while, not conceding any goals when they tied like 9 games in a row, but.
Yeah, and so despite being as high as 8th, they ended in 16th, just barely above the relegation scrum at that. So, but like safely enough above it that they never really had to worry about it. I think they were just in coasting mode for the last few matches for some reason. But so yeah. With that said, Evran, I guess before you talk lineups, you want to mention like what your sort of perception of them was? I mean, I think we probably agree on the analysis as far as the Iron Curtain turning into the Iron Pole at the end there. I think I called it the Iron Dome, which was, and I think that's far too formidable, unfortunately, for everyone.
I think they have some interesting names on the team, some good players, but I've never, at any point in this season, thought that they've played well. I think they've, gotten by with luck and individual talent, and just a lot of experienced players at the same time. So I've never been, particularly impressed with them, and I was, I think the end of the season kind of showed that they weren't a big, that top 6 caliber team, and the Turkish Cup was really all they had to play for. So.
And I'll tell you what, they're actually a perfect example of how a pretty good job done by a general manager can very easily be undone by a terrible manager or coach. Because that roster seems pretty good, right? You'd expect them to be challenging for a spot in Europe. And I guess theoretically they were via the Cup, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, before the
Nuri
season, if you
Şahin,
read out
yeah.
the names of the Hatay team and the Antalya team, I think probably 9 out of 10 people would have picked the Antalya team, based on just the names.
Yeah, for sure.
But once the season started, it was very clear that, especially because they lost like 7-0 to Hatay. But
Yeah, well, that's a theme. Hey, and what was their coach's name that basically screwed this job up?
Ersun Yanal is the coach.
Ersun Yanal, there you go.
The Fenerbahçe and Trabzon hero. Not much.
I mean, it really, to me, I think there's a generation of managers that sort of skirted by on just their reputation, their history in the sport, and I think a general lack of talent in Turkey. And they're really not meeting this. I think with the foreign level cut down, the foreign limit rather gotten rid of basically, or for the most part now. They can't, there's enough talent in the league that they can't really get by without having a vision, and so these guys are really being exposed. I would say. Well, would you agree with me on that, Evran?
I mean, it's maybe I haven't really thought about that. I mean, Ersun Yanal, I think he's always been overrated. That's just me. I feel like he hasn't had a good anything since 2013, 2014-ish. I just remember on Trabzon, he had a great squad and he was losing games 6-1 to Anadolu teams. And I just never been impressed with him.
Well, I think to back up my thesis is that there were 22 coaching changes, I think, and that was there might have been even more by the end of the season. That was just at one point.
There was a lot more by the end.
I mean, just an insane turnaround, which is not necessarily the coach's fault. That's also a little classic Turkish impatience. But, I mean, I don't know. For me, I do think that there's this generation of coaches that was sort of revered for their reputations doing other things, as players and maybe even analysts in some cases, but after they played, but they have not. I don't know. I feel like they haven't backed that up really with results on the pitch. Certainly not in the last 5 to 10 years. And Ersun Yanal is kind of the typical, the clear-cut example of that for me. But there's a bunch of them. I'm not going to go through the list. I think probably people can imagine kind of former Fener, Galatasaray players. Maybe a couple Beşiktaş guys out there. No, I mean, Risa Çalınbay has actually done a fairly good job adapting to the modern game. Who else am I thinking of? Anyway, tell us about the lineups, man. Sorry, I'm on a ramble here.
Beşiktaş lineup or the opponent?
Whoever, man. If you want to do both, it's up to you. I guess it's a big game, theoretically, the cup final.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll do Antalya real quick. Kind of the anticipated 11. Podolski up top, where he's been playing since he came back from injury. Freddie, Hamilton, and Gekten is as the midfield trio. Freddie's played a little bit all over, but today he lined up as the attacking mid. Nuri Şahin, Hakan Özmert as the double sixes, I guess.
Yeah, whatever.
Not the most defensive lineup from them, surprisingly. And then Kudryashov, who's a center back, was playing as a left back, and then they had Veysel Sarı, Ronaldo, and then Bünyamin Balcı, I guess. Rudolphin, which is kind of their normal 11. They used to have Orgio playing, but he lost his spot, and then Sidney Sam also lost his spot, so they're both on the bench.
But to Sidney Sam would appear. Anyway, I guess no spoilers. Yeah. Any other notes before we dig into the match itself?
I guess the Beşiktaş 11 we should probably. Oh
yeah, Derp. Yeah, pretty important.
It was a slight rotation. Not really, just 2 players, but Utku came in as the cup goalie. The same back four we've been seeing for over a month now. And Sakla Wellington Vida Rosier. And then Necip came in instead of Laiç's shoulders, in a sling. And
Still,
then, the triple CDMs, Atiba, Nejib, Joseph, and then Nkoudou, Larin, and Gezal's front three. So.
Yeah, not like the side you'd really want to be going to battle with week in, week out, obviously, but at the same time, somehow a formidable bunch this season. And what's fun is we get to talk about some rumors, actually, and some sort of news this episode as well. But obviously we'll do that after we talk about this match, just to get the sort of the football out of the way officially. This is our last, everyone, bear in mind, get into your color commentary rather, because this is our last football talk for quite a while on air, anyhow. So yeah, I'll dig in. And we're flying off to a flying start, in fact. In the first minute, and I think the actual action occurs in the second minute, perhaps, but Atiba with just a pin-perfect pass out wide to Nkoudou, who sends in a pretty good cross into the middle, which their keeper... did Buffon start?
Yeah, Buffon, however you say his name. The Belgian. We'll get Khan on here to...
Yeah. But he came out well to intercept the cross, but not well enough. It would find Joseph. What happened, sir?
Yeah, I mean, kind of got most of it. Bullfen spilled.
Stole your thunder there.
Spilled the cross. It was like a low, hard cross, maybe like, like a grass cutter, as they would say.
Yeah.
It was the first action of the game for him, so that's probably why he wasn't, quite up to par. He spilled the cross right to Joseph, who was the first one to react, and left-footed shot into the roof of the net from close range, and that was 1-0.
Nice way to start things off. Certainly for anyone who was stressing about this. And I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest. I wasn't. In fact, I had set up a whole silver lining to this, which was that if we'd lost, Fenner would not get Europa League. They'd have to go to the new Intertoto thing. So, and I know it's not called the Intertoto. That's my little insider joke. It's my little reference to the past and to how old I am, I guess. Yeah, it's called Interconference or something. I like Intertoto. I wish they'd gone back to that name. Funky name.
I don't know what that competition was all about. I was just like play 4 qualifying games to then go to the first round of the Europa League. That was
the Intertoto.
Yeah.
Come on,
play
man.
All these games just to go to the first qualifying round of it wasn't Europa League, UEFA Cup.
In its own way, it made sense though. It was fun, because it was like a back alley for like a 6th place team or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, the 5th minute, Podolski would flop like a turd in the penalty box. I don't know how he didn't get a yellow card, but he didn't get the call at least. No, I'm not gonna put him on the hit list. No warning for him here. Somebody, however, would earn the ire of the hit list, and I'll get to that one in a bit. 8th minute, Gökdeniz, who is a dude we've talked about before. You might want to say a word. He had a little bit of action. He took a shot from a tight angle, and kind of almost put a little fear in our hearts. You remember that play, Evran? Yeah,
Nejib tried to. Well, he did make a slide tackle on the sideline, but instead boomed the ball down towards our own corner flag. As Nejib does. So Gökdeniz picked it up, cut inside, and then on his left foot, he tried to rifle it into the near post, but hit the outside of the side netting. That was probably one of their most coherent shots of the first half, but they had a fair few chances that they kind of fluffed. So
nice. Yeah, and I'll go through the highlights here. In the 10th minute, Utku would flub a free kick out of bounds. It's funny because I had left the match thinking, Utku sort of filled in admirably, and then as I watched the highlights to prepare for this episode, it was a ton of little dumb errors that could have cost us really badly in a game of consequence. Utku flubbed a free kick out of bounds, which led to a corner, which Vesa would then get a head onto. I don't remember who took the kick, but Utku would then come through with a pretty decent save, actually. But again, a save that he created for himself.
Yeah, Nuri Shahin was taking the corners for Antalya.
Yeah, that's right. And free kicks as well. In the 16th minute, Necip would smack the guy in the face and get away with it. No yellow.
Yeah, Freddy. He smacks Freddy. Necip was very Necip-like not today, but in the game,
Yeah,
Just crashing into people.
We needed a few days off, folks, by the way. Come on. That season got so stressful. We were coming at you multiple times a week. It was hot and heavy. So, yeah, apologies for coming in a couple days late, but I'm sure you all understand. And I'm sure you all needed a break yourselves. Spend time with your families who had forgotten about you for a while. 24th minute, Rashid Ghazal would actually have a fairly decent shot from distance, though. Saved by Boffin. Do you have any notes on that one? Not really, maybe?
Yeah, not really. I think I remember the one when he cut in and then it was a low shot. I'm not sure if this is a different one you're talking about.
This may have been that one. 29th minute, Nkudu would have a clever little ball cross into the middle to Atiba, who would just get mauled essentially, but the ball would fall right to Rashid Ghazal's foot, who would tap it on sort of nicely into space for our boy Valentin Rosier to run onto, and the shot would just be pin perfect, although it may have been a little luck, but it took a little skip. Maybe, although it did come right off his foot. I don't know how intentional.
Yeah, it was.
He'll claim it was intentional. I bet
it's ones that some people, I think, Mesut Özil is kind of famous for doing that on purpose, where you shoot the ball into the ground, so that it lifts over the goalie's leg. But I'm not 100% sure if Rosier did it on purpose. It was the technique didn't look any different than a normal shot. It looked like he just kind of got over the top of the ball, it bounced up a little bit. But
it ended up just perfectly placed. And let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. His last goal on this contract, hopefully not his last goal in the black and white. I don't know why I always revert to a British accent. This, it's like a Turkish club, right? There's no freaking. Anyway, 38th minute, Rashid Ghazal with I gave it a check plus. This cross to Atiba.
Oh, yeah.
And he would just flub it off the post. Although honestly, he did everything right except for that final little effort there.
Yeah, I think he was looking to pass it, as Atiba normally does, but Laren was a little bit offside. So he's like, let me finish this. And then he had the, took his time and tried to place it in the corner, and he just hit not the inside of the post, but, I would say closer to the inside of the post, and it rebounded back to the, I believe rebounded back to the keeper, but it was, you thought that was game, when Atiba was standing in front of the goal one-on-one. But, kept him in it, gave him a little hope.
Unfortunately, yeah. 40th minute, Utku. I have this in my notes as a kick. I have to beat myself on that one. And it finds somehow Hamilton, who forces a save by Utku. So a little danger again from them. And they had a couple moments like that. I only noted 2, but they had a few more that I didn't feel the need to really go into details on. Do you have any notes on that?
Utku jumped into Freddy and flipped over him, and the ball spilled out, and there was a lot of just general clumsiness.
Yeah, I didn't mention that one.
That was he didn't make any howlers that caused the goal, but he didn't look good at while he was making the saves. He kind of looked a little clumsy.
Weak sauce. Yeah. Sure enough. Anyway, so halftime comes in. We're ahead 0-2. It was a neutral venue in Izmir, so I don't know how we got placed on the road there. Whatever. I'm not gonna spill beans over here. Anyway, 46th minute. So I guess at the halftime, Antalya made the sub. Mert Yilmaz, a guy who we may have had interest in at some point, came in for Hakan Uzmert. You want to say anything about Mert, by the way?
Honestly, I don't too much remember what he did in the game.
Nah, me either.
He's a right back, Bunyamin is also right back, and then Hakan Özmert was playing as a defensive mid. So
I don't know how that shook out. That would have been interesting to note because he was someone we were sort of personally on the podcast wanted. We like all these young prospects. I mean, they're cheap, right? It's
I think he was a free agent at the time.
Low risk, high
Antalya
reward.
picked up him and Gökdeniz that summer.
And they lost
Gökdeniz was
Sangare. They
lost
replaced
Nazım.
Sangare with him somehow, and then he doesn't start.
Well,
Anyway,
Bunyamin, I think was they already had him.
Slotted there.
He was
the
like
guy
the replacement, and then Mert was, to
the
compete.
backup. Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe he'll play next season because they didn't. No spoilers. All right, whatever. 55th minute was the first action. Wellington would save a shot from Gökdeniz, which Utku would just I don't want to bleep it, poop the bed. The shot would be a little cheeky kind of thing over him. He'd sort of dive pathetically. But Wellington would run in and save him and then give Utku a bit of a yelling, if you will. Which was, a little, not quite what you want to see. But whatever, Utku's not our starting keeper. Notes there? Or sorry, that was the 45th minute. That was not the 55th minute. Anything
Was
to
that
say?
right at the start of the second half, or?
Yeah, right at the start.
Yeah, that was probably that was one of the closest chances. They finally got the ball past Ersin Utku and was a little bit soft, like he flicked it past him, like he didn't really make strong contact on it.
I don't think he saw Wellington coming.
Yeah,
The
so it
beast.
wasn't a hard clearance to make because he didn't really.
The Brazilian beast. Hey, what's that dude's name from Street Fighter? Blanca. We could call him Blanca. It's too much of a deep cut. I don't know if we could go there. Alrighty then. So next bit of action was the 51st minute. Kyle Larin had a header on a corner that would sail high, just a bit high, but looked like it had some promise. 65th minute, we had a sub, our first. Nkudu would come out for Gökhan Toure, and Dorukhan Tokus would come in for Necip, the beast we saw. Because he had actually just got a yellow card in the 63rd minute. It probably should have been his second one, considering the old slap, but we got a little luck on our side. Come on, why not? A little luck of the champions there. 70th minute, Sidney Sam would come in for Bunyamin, so I guess that's where Mert would slide to the right back position if you hadn't already. And the 73rd minute, and this is my hit list entry, because he was a petulant little jerk face for much of the match. I don't have to beep any of that. I like insults that don't need bleeping. But so yeah, Fedor Kudryashov, who's always a bit of a tough nut to crack, if you will. He got himself a yellow card for just a nasty tackle. And he hits the hit list, man. I gotta do it. He's one of those guys you might like on your team because of that physicality, kind of Josephian, but he took it he put past the line in this match. And I've seen it before, so I'm putting him on the list. Ring the alarm. You want to push back on that, Evran?
I mean, that's kind of he's a center back playing left back, so it's not a surprise. He's just out here crunching dudes.
Just a
that's kind of his
monster.
sexist
But so yeah, and I've seen it before. It wasn't an isolated incident. Anyway, 78th minute, Bernard Mensah would enter the match for Atiba, and he would immediately show you everything that you kind of liked about him and then everything you absolutely despised about him. 79th minute, by the way, Gökdeniz again would get in past our defense. Freddy sliding him in perfectly, and Joseph with a decisive slide. I mean, Utku was actually there too, but Joseph didn't even give Utku
I think it was more of the fluff that really, he basically just swung and barely hit the ball. I don't know what the hell that was about.
Yeah, Gökdeniz had
so it allowed Joseph to make the block, because I think if he caught it cleanly, it would have been too fast.
I mean, he did such a great job of getting into scoring positions. It just didn't quite have that. He's still welcome to come
He had a
back.
sloppy
I'll stand by
performance.
that.
But, yeah.
I'd love a young Turkish striker in that mold to come back us up, you know, to back up to Abu. Come
It's a
on.
little too late, but yeah.
I'd love though. I said I would love Evran. I was saying it again. Anyway, where were we? 78th minute. So this was actually right before that flub by Gökdeniz. But Ufuk Akyol would come in for Nuri Şahin. Dever Orgil would come in for Hamilton. And then that Gökdeniz flub. In the 80th minute, Gezal with a free kick from deep would send it on goal, and it would actually require an interesting save from Bofin. 85th minute, a yellow card for Naldo. 88th minute, Mensah would actually find Gökhan Tore really well, and then Tore would find him again on sort of 1-2, and then Mensah would just yikes it.
Swing and a miss.
Absolute swing and a miss. Strike 1. I might as well call it strike 3. You're out. And like literally, literally. 85th minute, Ridvan Yilmaz would enter for a little bit of action. Rashid Ghazal getting some well-earned applause for a fantastic season. Hopefully not his last action with us. Utku Yuvakuran in the 87th would get a yellow card for time wasting. And in the 91st minute, Lukas Podolski would slide the ball in really well to I don't know who, to be 100% honest, who would hit the post. It would come back right back. Vaisel. It was Vaisel. It would come back out into play, but be dealt with. And that would be it. Just, I think, 2 minutes of extra time. And Beşiktash, 2 matches, 2 cups. Evran, I hand the mic to you. 1 stadium, indeed. 1 city, 1 stadium. A nice stadium at that. So yeah, final notes on the match before you go into stats, dude.
I think it was a little bit casual at times because we took that early lead. It was funny that the players were putting on the championship shirts like 8 minutes before the game was over.
I was getting a little nervous about that because they almost scored like twice too. It's
it was like, okay, this is a little maybe overconfidence at this point. But
yeah,
they didn't get that 1 goal, so I guess it was never really a worry. But I would have rather we put a third past them and we were kind of chilling for too long. But
I'm 100% with you on that. That had me nervous. I was like, I feel like we're tempting the football gods with that. That would have been a historic like Twitter yikes. Like people made fun of us for years.
Especially because it was Hasic and Laic. I think Hasic would have gotten like a lot of backlash or something. So I'm glad nothing happened there.
Yeah. In fact, a clean sheet for Utku, an undeserved clean sheet. The man made like 7 errors, but whatever. Tell us some stats, man. If you have them, I think we do. I see Fatma.
Yeah, I don't have the XG stats today.
Yeah, that's fine.
But it was 51% possession we finished with. They took more shots overall, 25 to our 13. But 12 of the shots were from outside the box. We had 4 big chances to their 3. And then shots on target was much closer, 5 to 6. And both of us hit the post once. They also had 7 block shots to our 3. So they were kind of taking pop shots from distance a little bit, while we were a little bit more, taking good shots because we were getting in behind so often. Overall duels won. We won 59 of their 38. I think our players were pretty comfortable for most of it.
Nice.
And then individually wise, Fatmob says Joseph is the man of the match. I think the watcher would probably have picked Gezal. I'm not sure about you, but I think he was the creative spark in the team. But Joseph had obviously the goal.
Yeah, I guess that goal is what sort of...
He won, 7 out of 9 duels, which is good. 3 clearances. He won 3 free kicks.
I mean, he was fantastic.
He won 3 tackles, 8 recoveries.
It could go between them. I mean, I mentioned that diving, saving tackle he did. That sort of triumphant one. And he made a few effort plays like that. As he did all season. He really actually... In fact, my final note, analysis-wise, since I guess that's it for stats. Is that it?
I mean, I can just say Gezal had 5 key passes.
No, yeah, I could give us some individual stats. Sorry,
Which is the most on the team, and he also completed 4 dribbles out of 4 attempted, hitting one of his best games. I think overall, there are games where he's maybe created more, but I think this is one a well-rounded game where he created a lot. He won his duels, and he could have probably had more than just the 1 assist, but he got his 1 assist. Rosier, the other goal scorer, decent game. Didn't really do a lot going forward, only created the 1 chance, but he came up with the goal, which is huge. He won half of his duels, but almost all the duels he lost were headers.
Yeah, and
being
could
dominated
have been
in
him
the air.
being the attacker, in fact, right?
But he had 5 interceptions, which is a lot.
That's stellar. Yeah.
2 dribbles. So he had a pretty good game, but not.
I'll mention really quickly. So Rashid Ghazal had the most big chances created with 2. Gökdeniz has had the most shots with 7, which really is a testament to his positioning ability, although not his finishing, obviously. Joseph had the most passes. Vaisel, by the way, is up there too. Vaisel's established himself as a solid player. I mean, never really got a shot with a big club after. I mean, he started. I think he may have played for Galatasaray as a kid.
Yeah, he's a Gala boy. He played he played 20 games. According to Fatma, I'm not sure how true that is, but.
Ghazal completed the most dribbles, and Joseph the most tackles. So it's definitely between them. And so if I pick one, you pick the other. I mean, that's it. It's those 2. Might as well just say that.
Yeah, basically. And Laren had a very quiet performance.
Was it an understated good performance, or just... I'll see how many touches he got. They have that. It's 38, which is, he had less than that before, but he took 1 shot the entire game. I mean, he was really more in the traditional striker role.
Yeah, which I think he tends to be quiet out there. Only 1 shot when you're, creating a fair amount. So
that header that missed too. It's actually a solid effort though. He used his body well, just couldn't quite put it away with his head, which is, technique is always what he seems to lack.
He entered 7 duels, which is, I think a lot of times on the wing we're saying he entered 22, some crazy high numbers. So. Definitely not tactically suited, I think.
Yeah. But so that's it, folks. That's all for. My last bit of analysis here was that it was great to see, especially in the first half, the way they kind of recaptured the form of the season. These last few matches, they were really playing tight to their chest, kind of nervous. With everything on the line at any moment, kind of. So it was good to see them kind of go back to that free-flowing, nice style of play that we saw all season, at least for a half. And obviously by the second half, it was more just let's get through this and have the party start, But so, that was absolutely fantastic to see. The good old Knicks curse, which I thought had been broken finally. I gotta say, overall, a historical success for Beşiktaş against the odds, with a number of guys having these seasons which make you ask the question: is this legit? And all year long, the Knicks did exactly the same thing, getting to the playoffs, which was not expected, getting a home seed, a home court advantage, even in 4th seed. And it was again, Julius Randle was this guy who nobody saw coming, and exceeded all expectations, and makes you wonder if this is the real deal. And at first I compared that all season to Kyle Larin, and the casual would do that, or the racist, I suppose, who just wanted to make it about 2 black dudes. But I think the actual comparison should be Rashid Ghazal, who had a historic season and really led the team, and in the way
since 2017 for Monaco, Leicester, and Fiorentina, scored 6 goals.
Dude, and he had the type of season that makes you think it's sustainable, because he showed so much talent. So that's why I think it's a much more comparison to the season Julius Randle had for the Knicks. But anyway, So, despite the Knicks curse supposedly being broken, I don't know, man. Looking real similar here, having historic success against the odds and everything. But so, yeah, anyway, a lot of fun for me as a sports fan this year. It's a lot of fun covering Beşiktaş. Thanks to all of our listeners for following us all year long. As always, it's been a real pleasure. And obviously, we'll be back for more, and we'll keep being here all summer. But, just a technical note for everyone. Great season, everyone. Now, quickly, let's slide into transfer season mode, Evran, and let's talk about some news. There's already news. I know, right?
Yeah. So we have 3 players I think everyone's concerned about. Abubakar did not reach the 30-game mark, I think is what it was, to extend his contract, so he's technically a free agent. And then Rosier and Gezal are their loans are expiring, as is Mensah and Montero, but Gezal and Rosier are the ones that people care about, to be frank.
And Abu too, but I think...
Well, he's not a loan, yeah.
Yeah, true.
So he's a free agent, Abubakar. All indications are that he wants to stay, but it's possible he might ask for more money. So we'll see how that goes.
And so one good thing is that, and this actually applies to Rosier too, that a lot of garbage rumors have come up about our rivals coming in for both of those players, and both of them have come out publicly and said no way. Abu saying he's a loyal man, he would never do it, and Rosier being even more cheeky about it, I think, on Twitter. I forgot exactly what he
says I'm an eagle who hunts or something like that. He always likes to say that line. It's like the 4th time he's used it, so.
So you gotta love that. At least we feel like, that's one thing about us, is we don't have a lot of these mercenaries who come back, and like Cenk Tosun said the same. He wouldn't really want to play for a rival. You like to see that. You like to see that kind of the way that we sort of regularly. Whenever Beşiktaş succeeds, it's sort of off the back of camaraderie and team spirit, and we develop these like lasting bonds with players. Like Abu the first time, right? And that's 2 championships for him. 3 for Atiba, by the way.
2 champions, yeah.
3 championships for Atiba Hutchinson. 3 for Necip.
The GOAT.
2 for Vida or 1? Is that Vida's first?
No, this is Vida's first, yeah.
Wow, Vida and Ljajic getting their first. So it's a lot of just fun
Gökhan
stories.
Töre second.
Yeah, Gökhan Töre and Ozan as well.
Ozan's third, but yeah.
Was that his third? Okay, I thought he was in the Töre. Didn't he come in the Töre back?
No, Gökhan left, remember, in 16, 17.
Right,
he went to West
that's why.
Ozan never left.
True champ. And he actually resuscitated his career this year. There's a lot of fun bylines for this whole season. Gökhan Töre and Ozan, I was trying to make the argument for them playing for the national team this year. Certainly Gökhan Töre, as a utility guy off the bench, certainly made a stake for himself at this season, coming in clutch for us.
I think if he stayed healthy this year, he would have been able to make it, but it just didn't happen. And at the end of the day, the wingers who, other than Cengiz, who is, I think everyone would agree, even though he's been injured, it doesn't matter. The rest of the wingers named there were pretty healthy throughout the season. To me, I think he should still make it over Efecan, but I understand that they're not going to take the guy who hasn't played for the national team in years, let alone, and then this year he hasn't played consistently. So
yeah, exactly.
640 minutes in the league, 648 minutes for Gökhan. So he
Yeah.
had good production in those 648 minutes, but we had guys playing like 3,000 minutes almost out there. So.
No, yeah. It was obviously a stretch, but I just mean that at least they played to the level where that could be a conversation. Obviously, and their health did not match that level, unfortunately. But, if they come back next season and can play at that level more consistently, or at least, stay healthy and play at that level, there's no reason why they couldn't reclaim spots on the national side. So that's a fun byline, and they've sort of really cemented themselves as Beşiktaş guys in our lore. So yeah, man, I don't know. There's
Yeah, a
also
little
some
bit
other
more.
news, right? We've got some more
other
news.
Yeah, Rosier and Gezal I didn't finish with.
And there's like transfer rumor stuff.
Yeah, but so the big ones is Rosier and Gezal. Mr. Dickman also said Gezal is going to be tough to buy. Monaco already has swung in with a transfer offer, and obviously Monaco has more money than we do. It's one of his former clubs that, where Leicester got him from. Rosier, on the other hand, should be doable. Obviously, we have to pay a transfer fee for him, but it looks like the player's willing, and it looks like, Sporting is also more willing because, they won the league themselves.
One note on Rosier. You want to mention the Nkudu comment?
Oh, yeah.
Nkudu talked about, I forgot what it was. One more cup would have been perfect.
No, it was on Rosier posted a picture with Abubakar, and Nkudu commented like someone's missing or who's missing from this photo. And Rosier responded, "We'll win more trophies together."
Don't worry, yeah.
Don't worry. So, kind of insinuating that either he's coming to Beşiktaş or Nkudu's going to Sporting.
Or they're both anticipating call-ups to the French national team.
That already happened, so I don't think that was it. So.
Yeah, that's past also. I don't think either is expecting call-ups anytime soon. Although Rosier, I don't know, man. If this is just
I think Rosier could honestly... the guy they called up for the second right back, I'm not sure if he's better than him, but the other guy's a little bit more established, so maybe for the World Cup, you never know.
Dude, Valentin Rosier is the best right back I think I've ever seen for Beşiktaş. Let me rephrase. That was the best season for a right back I think I've ever seen in my time watching Beşiktaş. Just fantastic, man. So final notes. We've got a little more, right? Rumors?
Nothing else is like really those were like the important. Also, Dorukhan is still not technically gone. He's gonna go to the Euros. Well, most likely he's in the pre-squad. So once he gets cut from the Euros, then decided earlier.
Ridvan is also in that pre-squad, which is fun.
Yeah, Ridvan's also in the pre-squad for our two Beşiktaş players. But assuming Dorukhan goes to the Euros, he's going to complete the Euros with the Turkish national team, and then after, he's going to have another meeting with the Beşiktaş, board about his contract, like one last effort. Also, it looks like, not his replacement, but someone else was offered the same contract. Supposedly, Salih Uçan was offered the same contract that Dorukhan was offered, and Salih Uçan looks more likely to happen. They said, the reports are saying that Beşiktaş is 1 to 2 steps ahead of all the other teams that want him. So
he's asked for a delay, and Fina is really pushing hard, but it's a little gossipy, perhaps.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's from Khan. Khan is our source lately.
We'll see what happens there, but Salih Uçan looks likely for the first transfer. And then obviously all the loan guys, and then Abubakar. That's like the three.
That'd be fantastic.
The other rumors floating around that are more like just interest is that Beşiktaş is interested in loaning in big name striker, which personally I hope is not true, but they're saying Alexander Mitrovic and also Alex Sorloth. So the former Trabzon guy is coming in on loan, but they're high salary, high earning players with massive transfer values that we cannot afford.
Oh, and I guess one final note, and this is actually, it might be official. I mean, the kid's in a Beşiktaş shirt, so we have the 16-year-old.
Oh yeah.
I'll let you do it. Yeah.
Who was I have to find this kid's name again.
It's a hard one to pronounce too. So
16-year-old who was pictured in a Beşiktaş shirt. I'm not sure. They're saying it's an official transfer. Half of us are confused if it's even legal. He's only, with hostage, we had to wait till he's 18 to sign him. He's from, plays for the North Macedonian youth national team. Trying to find this man's name.
Did you say North Macedonian? So there's like...
Yeah. Well,
Macedonia
had to change their name because Greece was screaming at him. So now they're North Macedonia.
Oh my god, I didn't know about that. That's such a.
So his name is Besar Gujufi. So supposedly, I mean, the pictures are clear, like he's posing in Beşiktaş jerseys, unless it's like an extensive fraud where it's some random kid who's on contract with another professional team who's like, I'm gonna pose another team's kit.
Like the ball family, speak it into existence.
So he is, as a 16-year-old, he played, a season of professional football already. He has 2 goals and 3 assists in the season, which is pretty decent. I mean, it's for FC Belasico, which is not like a team anyone knows in the Macedonian league, but to be playing professionally at 16 at any level is good. So
yeah, and I mean, we missed out on that Georgian kid who ended up going to PAOK.
But the
PAOK has
Georgian
become like our
funny.
rivals. They got Shinji Kagawa too. Nico Ninua or whatever it was.
Nika Ninua. So
did he play it all? Do we know?
I'm not sure, but this guy's turning 17 in a few days.
Yeah, no, this is more like in the Aydin Hasic frame.
Yeah,
and that for me has worked out really well.
Ninua is my age.
I mean, that's
Not
look
really,
at all the
not
promise
really
and hope we
wonderful,
gave
yeah.
him, the hype. Should tell you, man, you still have. Go for it, Evran.
I'm actually
The sky's the
10 days
limit.
older, younger than him. Get it.
Well, anyway, so that's it. We'll obviously be back with tons of off-season trade rumor episodes throughout the summer, and preseason news and all the fun stuff. League of Legends. Let's take that cup from Fina too. Anyway, stay tuned for our. Say again.
Worth noting, might be quiet for transfers until the Euros finish. We'll see.
Is the window
How that goes.
open though officially already?
No, it's not. The registration window isn't open yet. So you can't register players, but you can agree to transfer at any time. So now it's technically like
Because of the whole
basically
delayed,
open, yeah.
the season ending late, it means there's going to be a weird off season. Do we know when it starts officially?
Usually it opens officially in July, but a lot of teams will start signing players now. But the only thing is, a lot of the players are going to be going to the Euro camps, and most players aren't going to be, wanting to, it's kind of seen as unprofessional to distract yourself during the Euros when you're playing for the country. So a lot of these transfers will probably be delayed, but for a player like Salih Uçan who wasn't called up, maybe that will get done before.
Which sucks. He should have been absolutely called up.
So.
He had a great season for Alanya. But anyway. But so yeah, stay tuned. We will obviously be back. My hope, honestly, is that we focus mostly on keeping that squad intact as much as possible. Selling and upgrading a few pieces like maybe Kyle Larin. Only because I feel like this is where he's probably got a really nice demand that we could sort of. I mean, frankly, who knows? Maybe he'll go on and keep this form up for the rest of his life, and we'll regret selling him now. But nonetheless, I feel like you got to kind of strike while the iron's hot there. And again, I think there's going to be a lot of interest. But yeah, I mean, that's really like for me going into the transfer window. That's my main hope, is that we keep the squad intact as much as possible, and obviously that means Abu, Ghazal, Rosier. Please stay. Please don't make this difficult. Any final notes, Evran?
Well, I hope the board is prepared for this transfer window, because also we still don't know technically the last update on the Champions League. I guess we have to know what Chelsea did. That is still up in the air. If we have to worry about the Champions League final,
that's right.
Chelsea is 1 point clear. So it's Chelsea has 67 points, Liverpool has 66 points, and Leicester has 66 points.
And Alisson did that freaking goal to save.
Yeah, so one of those 3 teams won't be in the top 4. And Chelsea's last game was against Aston Villa in 2 days.
But on the other hand, if Chelsea loses to Man City in the Champions League final,
Then it doesn't matter. So that's the Chelsea watch still up in the air if we go direct to the Champions League. But hopefully the board has all the transfers. Kind of like the idea set in case, I think it's going to be hard to keep all 3 of Rosier, Ghazal, and Abubakar. I'm praying to keep 2. So hopefully the board is.
Champions League money would go a long way. But so yeah, as always, stay tuned. We will be back soon-ish, right? Probably next week at some point. We'll wait for something to report, I guess, at the very least. But anyhow, no, you know what? We will be back soon with the whole season review. We're gonna get a roundtable going with all of our guests from the season, guest hosts and whatnot. Of course, stay tuned for our hashtag after the beep. I've got our Southern Eagle, Emre. He's got his notes. Finally, I got the second half from him. His notes about the championship clinching match against Göztepe. So you can review the championship as well one last time with Emre, our Southern Eagle. And yeah, as always, to our listeners, feel free to submit your own hashtag after the beep. We can put you in any episode, especially during the summer. We'd love to hear any ideas you have about transfers, your feedback on transfers as they do come in, and just any old opinions you have out there. Follow us on Twitter at Eagles_podcasts. Myself at Sir_writes_a lot. Don't follow Evran. He doesn't do that. He doesn't play that game. Don't even look at him. Follow us on Instagram, Black Eagles Podcast, one word. And as always, let's go Beşiktaş! Peace out, everybody! Champions! 2 matches, 2 cups.
Çok güzelsin. Harika.
Now we gotta cement these contracts. Lock them in, lock and load.
2-0.
The first half update with the current status on the match day 42 in Turkish Super League. Beşiktaş is drawing against Göztepe in Izmir. Galatasaray is losing Malatya in Istanbul. Fenerbahçe also losing Kayseri in Kayseri with 1-0. With these current situations, Beşiktaş claims the title. However, now all teams saw the results. Second half will be much different. I expect Fenerbahçe to come back and beat Kayserispor. Galatasaray also will fight hard to win against Malatya. So therefore, for us, Beşiktaş, we must score goals to not the title, the trophy slip away from us. What I noticed for the first half, Beşiktaş is not good at defending. I mean, we came all the way here by attacking and scoring goals. And we must continue doing that. If we try to protect the current score or scoring one goal and trying to defend that, it will be very hard for us. Therefore, we need to aim goal and more goals. Let's hope we get the title. Go Beşiktaş! Yes, we are champions. And really, yesterday, we all relieved so much. It was unbelievable. It was a very difficult season. We started almost half budget of our opponents, Fenerbahçe and Galatasaray. And first 5-6 games we really shaky, struggled a lot. And what they said, even management voted on Sergen Yalçın to keep him or release him. And with the president's Ahmet Nur Çebi's vote, they kept him. And from there, what a turnaround he made. If there was no Sergen Yalçın, we wouldn't come this far. He really made the team success, and he really carried the team and the club with him against all odds. He fought with media. He fought with the federation. He fought with opponents. He motivated players. He's a clever man, and he found the solutions most of the time in the mid half times, and many games turn around in the second half. And if you guys noticed on the Göztepe game, the final game, around 50th, 54th minute, he was shouting Gökhan Töre and Larin, and made the Larin and Töre switch the positions. Larin went on the left wing, and there he made the difference. Because when Larin plays in the center forward, he cannot fight with the two defenders there in the middle, and they stop him well. And he's not that fast, but when he has the right wing on him only, he made that run like he did on the penalty kick we got, and outpaced and quick to tackle the second ball again. That made a difference for Beşiktaş. And I mean, Beşiktaş play 40 league games plus Turkish Cup and plus to some European Championship. Last 3-4 games was so stressful. The players, the club, I mean, they were not passing the ball. They were not making the simple things that what they used to do. That was a shock. Anyhow, I'm glad that Domagoj Vida got a Turkish Championship title, because we paid him so much money in the last 3 seasons, and this year really paid off. He scored a nice goal, and even on the penalty, we got that position start with his tackle on the throw line on our half, and he was really true quality. He fought well throughout the season. I mean, no point to talk now. That's it. We just need to go for the Turkish League game and the Turkish Cup game on Tuesday. If we win that, we will double, and that's the great feeling, man. Really, we are so relieved. And let's fingers crossed Chelsea do not win Champions League title. Even if they do, they should remain in the top 4 position in the Premier League. So that will give us a direct access to group stage in the Champions League. And the survival of the club is going that championship groups direct, because it's close to 30 million euro benefit comes there if we go alone, if Galatasaray cannot pass the stages. So happy. My daughter is 5.5 years old. In her 5.5-year-old age, she got 3 Turkish trophies for Beşiktaş. I share that with you. She's growing Canadian Eagle, American Eagle for Beşiktaş. One crazy supporter. She was celebrating crazy in Turkey yesterday. So thanks for all the Beşiktaş fans. Thanks for Sergen Yalçın. Thanks for the president Ahmet Nur Çebi. Thanks for the players. Really, this was a spectacular season. As all said, this was the hardest championship, and it was so meaningful because we came with the really underdog. And if you ask not to look at the last 3-4 games, out of 40 league games, Beşiktaş played 35 of them with the deserved support from the common soccer fans in Turkey, as Beşiktaş deserving this to get this title. Last 2-3 games we made the hope on Galatasaray and Fenerbahçe fans. And actually, if you think about it, Fenerbahçe won the Sivas game, they will be champion. And that little details made the difference. And if you look at also another little detail which was become a huge, in the first half when beat Galatasaray 2-0, that second goal Enkudu scored on the Larin's pass, that made us champion. If Enkudu didn't score that game, yesterday Galatasaray would be champion. So when you put all those details on top, they make big, huge million euros worth variance. But overall, in the out of 42 weeks and the 40 games the teams played, each team played, Beşiktaş is the most deserved team to get this championship. So congratulations to Beşiktaş. Congratulations to all black and white fans. Black Eagles of Istanbul, soar. Go for it. Thank you all.
Beşiktaş International hopes you enjoyed this program.